like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe.
How do rounds differ from open mics?
So an open mic is you can show up, you can put your name on the list, and hopefully get to play, ideally. But a round is pre-planned, usually curated so that you'll be in a round with other people who compliment you. That doesn't always happen, but that's the
like
idea.
compliment by give you compliment, or compliment like they're similar to
Like your sounds will
your
sound
stuff.
good
Okay,
together.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
unlike a show where each person plays their set, your sets are intertwined. So you're playing a song, they're playing a song, the next person's playing a song, and then it starts back with you, depending on how many people are in the round. Usually between 2 and 5 people. I would say 5 people is like the largest round I've seen.
Do you prefer seeing people that are good or bad at those things? Because I feel like sometimes I like to see people that are shittier than me, but then sometimes I'm like, I don't want to be put with these pieces of shit.
I like to see like good artists, but because there's
Yeah.
honestly there's a lot more people that are bad than there are good. So like you actually probably go to those and you probably see more people that are not great than just unbelievable. You know?
I also like the competitiveness,
Yeah.
like when it kind.
Yeah, well, I don't think of it as competitiveness, but like when I see a writers round, I think like, okay, these are each songwriters. They have a story to tell. They have something to say. Some people it resonates, and my opinion of bad doesn't necessarily mean the whole room thinks it's bad. It's just like when I go, like I'm expecting to like, just hear a story of somebody that resonates with me, and I think more often than not, I don't get that. And I'm not saying like I have like some superior, mindset to us like, oh, I understand the most, high form of song, but it's just I think it's like that for most people.
No, but I do like to like end the night going like, I gotta up my game, like,
yeah, no, I feel that too. I think that there's some people like that, but Leah and I talk about this. And she talks about, like, there's just a lot of songwriters that are out there. And, like, it's just, like, some people say, they're bad or good. And, but really it's just, like, there is somebody telling a story. And it's either a lot of people who resonate with it or very few or none at all. So I just think that I'm just there to, like, have somebody resonate with me. So I think
that's a good
it.
point.
Yeah, I think that it's, I prefer that. But when I see like someone that plays really bad, it's like, okay, there's hope. But also there's room to always get better. I don't know. That's just how I think about it. I'm like, if somebody's playing bad or sounds bad, it's like, well, you know what? That's now. 10 years from now, they may be amazing,
10-year town, baby.
Oh,
Everybody's
yeah.
at a different place in their journey. So I think that maybe what should be considered bad is like, it's not even bad, it's unrefined, is that you cannot properly articulate your thoughts.
Yeah.
And that's just something that you have to work on. That's not necessarily like it's not great, it's just unrefined, like you just have to work on it. And I think that everybody is somewhere else in their journey to wherever they're going to land, and you might think that they're going to land at X, but their goal is to land at Y, and you're not even looking at that,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So you never know what they have their
sure.
eyes on. Like that person who you think is a terrible vocalist, maybe they don't even want to be a vocalist.
Great
like
call.
maybe
Great
they're just
call.
there because they're afraid of performing and they're trying to work on their performance anxiety so that they can deliver speeches better in school. Like you never
Yeah.
know. Or maybe they wrote this song for their partner and they really want their partner to hear it because they're on this special trip. Like you have no idea why that person's on that stage or where they're at in their journey
Are
or
these
what
like
their
true?
goals are.
These sound like these are true stories of like people you've met. They're like, okay, this was
They
someone.
could be.
Yeah, I know that's why.
I mean, I've seen someone go up and perform a song on his anniversary for his wife. They'd been married like 3 years. He went up. I wasn't in love with his performance. It wasn't my favorite thing. He definitely wasn't a vocalist. Probably had never taken a lesson. But, he really cared about his wife and he had written that song for her. And she was crying, So he reached his goal.
He resonated.
His goal wasn't my goal.
Yeah. Well, like, there's you hit on something a little while ago. Like, a lot of the songwriters are not there to sound good. It's songwriting. It's like the writers round. They're showcasing their ability to write. So it's like a lot of them are just there to write songs for people, or maybe for themselves, or family member, whoever. But that's just it.
But
It's
isn't
like,
the round to kind of see what reactions they get from that writing, to see like
I think so, but
maybe-
also
maybe not.
that's
why I'm
trying
at.
to
I've really never
what she
maybe
said,
once or
like,
twice.
trying to refine what they're writing and just like hone the craft. Like if you got a painting and you show it to a bunch of people and it looks really shitty, or however it looks to a bunch of people, and maybe you got to look at it and see how other people look at it and be like, okay, I need to change a lot of shit on this. I think it's like that.
Do
with
people need to
songwriting,
pay
so.
to see a writer's round? Because that'll also change a lot of like how it's perceived, in my view. Like if people had to pay to go see the performance, they would expect like a certain quality. You know
Most
what
of
I'm saying?
them are free.
I would say 95% of them are free.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are certain curated rounds that do cost money to go see. Like if you're going to go see the song Suffragettes at the listening room, but that's because it costs money to see a show at the listening room.
I see.
Yeah.
Not because it costs money to see the song Suffragettes necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Leah does, you know Leah, that's right. She does a lot of work, watching songwriters and stuff. And it took me a while to like try to like understand what is good and bad, because I would go there and be like, Leah, these people sound terrible. And she'd be like, no, we're not here to listen to them like showcase their like all that shit. They're there as songwriters. And it's like, I didn't even think about that being in my ethos. I was like, oh wait, that's right, I was doing the
at
wrong
a
formula.
So
when
at a
it was
writer's
supposed to be this.
round, there will be people who can't really play their instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Because it's about songwriters, it's not about artists. Like most songwriters are artists, I would wager, but
Yeah.
it's not about being an artist. So you have to really listen for the bones of the song, and that's really hard. It's also hard when if you're not an artist, if your voice is not the most refined, a lot of the times the people in the audience, they won't pay attention. They'll start their conversation during your performance.
Yeah.
And then they will stop it when the next person plays. So you can kind of hear who the audience does and doesn't like based on when the conversations are happening in the room, which is both a positive and a negative.
I get that.
But a lot of the times you have to just listen for the bones of the song. You have to listen and
But like, you know how like stand-up comedians will try out new stuff at comedy clubs, and it's okay. You kind of expect some jokes not to hit because they're trying out new stuff. And I feel like it's okay if you lose the attention of the audience for a bit if you're like trying to figure out where that song's gonna go. And
I
stuff.
think that's a good correlation there, or comparison, because like I think that I don't know if a lot of songwriters are thinking about that. Like, I'm doing this in a songwriters round to see what I need to change. Some people might be, and some people like may think that after the fact, but they aren't like thinking, I'm going to go there to see how people react, or to test it out and see if it works and then change stuff. I think it's just like it's hit or miss, and then they figure out, after the cause, the effect, or what effect they should do. So, yeah, like talking about comedians, like they go there to try it out and see if it works. I think songwriters are going there to see if they perceive that it works, or if they, I guess it. I guess it is just really similar in comparison. Like I guess the only difference is like the idea of going in there to do that versus going in there and like some people may go in there and say, I'm not changing anything. I'm just going to keep playing it until somebody reacts to it,
Well, which leads to my next question. What percent would you say of things at writers rounds are serious? Like how much of it is like, is there a percent that's jokey or like humorous stuff?
there are comedy songwriters in Nashville.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
There's this one guy, Steve Goody. The first time I ever played around with him, he made fun of me on stage because I hit a wrong note.
Oh shit! So that's
I immediately was like, I love this guy.
Oh.
He's so cool. Because it was funny. It wasn't
like a real
mean.
roast, yeah.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
a roast, but not like actually insulting you. Yeah.
Yeah, he just like lightheartedly made fun of me and then performed a song about Harry Potter.
Oh,
you know.
nice. Yeah.
Nice. He sounds
He's
like
the
an
winner,
interesting
huh?
dude.
That's good.
He's an awesome dude. He has a recording studio that he runs out of his house.
Cool.
Steve Goody, y'all.
But
Plugging him,
because like
but-
when I think of writers' rounds, I just my mind goes to these quiet, serious rooms, dimly lit.
Yeah.
It depends if you're playing in a listening room. If you're playing whiskey
Jam.
round,
Whiskey
yeah,
jam.
whiskey jam. Wow, words did not come to me. Whiskey jam. That's not a listening room. People are there to dance and to have fun and to listen to you play like really cool jamming music.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So writers' rounds based on the room will depend on which songs you should bring.
Well, the room depends. Your audience depends on where you're at. Like the people going to whiskey jam don't want to hear you play a ballad.
I
Yeah.
see.
And you should know that. You should not be getting anywhere near Whiskey Jam if you don't know that their audience doesn't want you to play a
I'm
ballad.
gonna play all my breakup songs at a place called Whiskey Jam.
This is not me saying you can't play a ballad at Whiskey Jam. I don't know. But
Yeah.
maybe there
I think
are Whiskey
you can-
Jams where you can.
You can do.
It's not my experience.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's a writer's round. You're like, I've seen like 3 country guys, and then literally, oh my gosh, I'll never forget that because it was at the Commodore Grill, and there was this. It was 3 people. 2 of them were country. Person in the middle. Oh man, it was just not the setting, not a good setting. Emo, like hair over an eye, and like like people arguing in a parking lot. What do you mean about that? That's actually,
Yeah,
like just whiny,
conversational,
it's
though?
whiny. It's not conversational, but like the way he was doing it, it was very unorthodox and like even like the emo genre. But once again, that's where I was like, oh, this isn't bad. This is the wrong audience. I'm the wrong audience. And it was like, maybe he was thinking that he could just do what he wanted, which obviously you can. But a setting does matter. And
Well, I mean, also, I would say that's not on him. That's also on the person who curated that round.
yeah,
That they put 2 mellow country artists with someone
yeah.
making like more emotional,
Mhm.
kind of like you said emo, but like alt rock probably.
I straight up
Like
say
punk?
I would say it's like like La Dispute. You know who they are.
No.
Did you know
Oh,
Bright
man.
Eyes? Like kind of bright eyes.
It's even more emo than I'm talking about. Like Ohio is for lovers. Like Hawthorne Heights. Like not even that, dude. It's emo music.
All right.
It
Well,
was
however we're gonna describe it, because I didn't hear this act,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I would say that person wanted to play and they didn't know who their audience was. Like you don't know if a room is necessarily going to be your audience because you don't know who's going to be that room on any given day. You just know the venue. But Commodore Grill is a type of location that they have all types of acts on stage.
Yeah.
So you can kind of expect that from them. But whoever booked that round, whoever planned that round, put 2 country artists with someone
The emo guy.
who's doing a more like alternative style of music.
Yeah.
Now, do writers' rounds ever have like a cajon or like a second musician supporting them, or like, is it always just one person, or is it like a one person band, or is it like they're ever? Can you help me?
No,
verbalize
you're
this?
good. Like you're
'Cause I
saying,
feel
like
she doesn't
having somebody play guitar for you, or
or have 2 guitarists and then have like instrumental sections, or it's like kind of not.
yeah. It's usually-
No, it's not a writer's round is not a full band show.
So they don't have. What about a cajon?
I mean,
never
if you
seen one, but-
bring someone who's gonna bring it with them and play, and that's your one accompaniment.
You get one accompaniment.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
yeah,
Sometimes you'll just have the other people on stage with you accompany you if you know them.
yeah,
They can sing some harmonies. Like, it's all about like songwriters being collaborative. But at the end of the day, it's not a place for you to be a band
Okay.
or like a star. Because if you're doing your own solo thing, then you should be booking your own solo shows or opening up for other people or booking shows with your friends. Playing a writer's round is to play with other songwriters, to network, to try out new material, to practice your performances. Like, a writer's round is really to get yourself as a writer into shape in some way or form.
I see.
It's not to be the artist or the band. And like, yes, you can shout out your own music. Like maybe you don't have enough of an audience to book your own show just yet, so you're doing writers rounds while you figure out how to.
So this
gain
wouldn't be
traction.
something that I should actually even consider. I feel like this doesn't
Well, I mean,
work
if
with
you're
what I'm doing.
if you're trying to try out new material and to kind of get a feel for what people like and how they receive your stuff.
Do they do rap at any of them?
I mean, I've played on stage with R&B artists who like had rap sections and stuff like that.
Cool.
And that usually gets it.
Yeah, everybody's
Everybody
like,
likes-
whoa.
everybody
Oh
likes
yeah,
rap.
they're always the favorite, and then you have to follow them up,
I
and you're
know.
like, I'm about to bring the mood down with a melodic pop song.
People
Oh.
want something different. Like, people come to Nashville to be country, and I feel like you have a better chance of coming to Nashville to be the fucking polka king or something, you know?
Dude,
like,
you know, you were. I'm sorry, it's off topic a little bit. I mean, not off topic, but you were asking about like, have you ever seen someone? You go for the bad people or the good people?
Yeah.
I've seen somebody. Okay, so sometimes you can't like, you know, you look at bad movies and like some of them are so bad that they're actually good.
oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, of course,
So,
dude.
like the Phantom Menace, Star Wars,
Mhm.
so bad, it's amazing. Like that's
Wet
or The
as pussy,
Room,
dude.
or-
You're like wet as pussy. I think there
Oh.
could be bad music, but like the artist still has to perform it well. You know? Like,
Yeah.
just-
Well, you know, like The Room is like a
Yeah.
the
I love The Room.
Citizen Kane.
yes.
of it.
I think that anything can be good or anything can be bad based on whether or not you waver. Like if you stutter, if you are like, I know that I'm not hitting my notes, then everybody's gonna be like, ooh, she knows she's not hitting her notes, so I know
Yeah.
she's not hitting her notes. Whereas like if you are a terrible performer and you never hit your notes, but you like full on like believe that you are giving the performance of a lifetime
Yeah.
and you've committed,
It resonates.
everybody can see in your
Yeah.
eyes that you've committed and they're into it.
I think that it's unexplained. Like when I'm thinking about The Room and like Tommy Wiseau and like who that guy is and what that movie is and watching that movie and you're like, this is absolutely horrible. Don't turn it off. Like
It's because he
I
put so
have
much
to watch
soul
it.
into it. It's
Yeah,
horrible, but
it's-
he tried
it's-
so hard.
It's amazing.
Oh, he was like, this is it. This
Yeah.
is the thing that is going to make my name for me.
Yes.
And he was right because he committed to
did,
it.
he did.
He full on believed in the project.
That's true. That's
So,
actually true.
There was this one guy that I saw one time at a writer's round, and it was during, I think it was during Tin Pan South, or it was at the local nonetheless. But there was 4 artists up there, and this one guy, I don't know, like he looked like he could have been 16 or he could have been 36. Like he was just, I couldn't tell, but he sang these songs.
Did he have facial hair?
Yeah,
That
he
usually
did, but he had like, it was like baby face with facial hair.
Oh, God,
Like,
That doesn't
tough.
matter. I knew a kid in elementary school at the age of like 10 who had a full beard.
Dude, I was talking about somebody that in 8th grade, like, I was talking with a friend, I was like, yo, that dude had, like, a beer gut, and because he drank beer, like, because he just looked like a grown-ass that had the facial hair. He was an 8th grader and played football in varsity as an 8th grader.
Wow.
Yeah, we
That's
called him
big.
Bay. He was a big dude. Anyways, okay, so the guy is
Performing and you don't know.
and the lyrics that he's saying, it's almost like somebody, I don't like to say just generic pop song, but I remember what it was.
Oh my God,
It was
do
called
it.
"Let's Go Make Some Magic,"
Okay.
and it was like that's the only part I really know. It was like this. So it was like, "Come on, girl, get in my car. Let's go make some magic." It wasn't like suggestive. Not from this guy. It's like there's no way he's talking about anything other than like, just playful romance. I don't know. But that was the lyrics, was "Let's go make some magic," and I just remember listening to it, and it's just like, it's almost like you turned out a machine and it printed out generic sentences, but it was bad in the sense of like, okay, it's not like the most eccentric song ever, or like it's like, it's almost like satire pop, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Intentionally?
No, that's the thing, and that is why I was like, you were saying, like, he really felt it and he was really in it, and like the the passion was there, and it resonated. That's the only dude I remember, and that's the only line from all those songwriters that I remember. And I'm sitting here telling you, let's go make some magic. It's very simple. It's not the most, it's been said before, but somehow from this guy in particular singing it at this particular place at this particular time at this particular night, I was like, I remember it. But it was like, it's so bad. I'm
That
here
it's
to
brilliant.
remember it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like I've been on stage with someone before who is an absolutely brilliant songwriter. Like they could write circles around me, and I think that I'm a great writer. And they were so not confident about what they were doing. They were almost afraid to, like, even lean towards the mic.
Yeah.
That, like, I would zone out during their performances because they were not grabbing my attention. It's not on your product to be good. It's on you to sell your product regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Said perfectly.
This is sparkling water. Look at this can. It looks like some
It looks like alcohol.
I know, yeah. That's like the running joke.
He is holding a liquid death sparkling water can.
That's it. If you guys,
he is
get
the
free
epitome of the
marketing.
person they're marketing, and he fell for it.
I fell for it. No,
Think about boxed water. Like, I understand that I can get the same water from my faucet, but there is something really cool about boxed water because they
Shout out to
marketed
Liquid
it to me.
Death. Drink.
No, you're right. Like it's the same product, and yet it's why am I not getting it from my faucet? And just
Why am I paying $3 for
Yeah.
this?
It's something that I feel like it can be explained if you really looked into it and really tried to understand it, just like Tommy Wiseau in The Room, that guy that sang Let's Go Make Some Magic, and why I thought it was, I guess it's like, I thought it was funny, but I also just remember it, and it's like, man, it's like, obviously he had something that made me remember that, and I don't remember any of those other ones, and they, of course, were better songwriters, better singers, everything about them was just better, but that guy in particular, like,
Were you at the open mic
what I remember.
at Tennessee Brew where there was like some woman came on stage and just completely choked? Were you there that week?
No, but I have seen a woman cry in front of an entire crowd.
Yeah, this was similar.
Not there.
This was tough because like midway. Okay, so she didn't have any sort of accompaniment. It was just her by herself. So kind of on your sense, like on the same vein of you, like I will never forget this. And this was a train wreck, and this was uncomfortable. And Erica like kind of helped her, and she was like, "It's okay," and like came on stage and like told her to like basically get off. Like Erica did the right thing, I think. But this girl, like, she starts singing, and then like she kept like oh, I forgot the lyrics, and like she kept like before she could get a word out, and then she just started crying, and I'm just
She
like,
spiraled.
yeah, spiraled, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. I love forgetting lyrics because I
Just fill it in,
absolutely,
yeah.
two things. I make up stuff or I just say poo poo pee pee shit and fart. I'll just say that. It could be a sad, serious
On
song.
stage?
On stage. In front
Yikes.
of God and everybody. I'll just say, man, I don't remember the words. Shit, and farting and fart. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm your audience.
yeah, probably not.
There you go. That's
If
the
it's
answer.
it's just I don't know what else to say, so I'm like I'm gonna try my best to be funny. And
I usually just
sometimes it works.
laugh. When I
Love.
forget the words, I'll just laugh or I'll just hum something.
Yeah. I think it's the defense mechanism. Like I'm like, oh my God, I'm defenseless, so I'm just gonna be absurd.
I forgot the lyrics
don't
when we
know.
were doing the open mic the other day, and I just ended up singing the verse twice.
Yeah.
And no one noticed.
No one knows. Yeah, no one.
Not
gives
a single
fuck.
person.
Not a exactly. Yeah.
I didn't know. Was I there? Was that when I was there?
That was last week.
I didn't notice.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Exactly, because in my head I was just like, nope, just commit.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't have to commit.
Yeah.
Improv taught me that.
I would actually say that I 90% of the time just make up stuff like that, not poo poo pee pee shit. But
Yeah. I've
like,
seen you
yeah.
improvise. You're good at it too.
When
With the
that
kid,
little
that kid, dude,
yeah.
that was dope.
Yeah, that was.
We were
funny.
playing outside in this. In my opinion, I thought it was obnoxious when someone just goes, "Hey, can I
a
play?"
little child played
Yeah,
with your
like, on your drum.
stuff.
Like there's people watching us, and like she just interrupts so her little kid could play. But like whatever, cool, fine. So
That would make me so nervous. No one.
he
can
ended
touch
up
my
being
instrument.
dope though. He ended up
Yeah, he
being
was
really
cool. He
good.
was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And he was jamming with him, and he just made up a song on the spot, better than any song I've ever written. Basically, he's like, "Hey, little man."
Hey, little man. Yeah. He's got the plan.
Or
I don't
so
even
shit.
remember.
I love doing
It's-
that. Like I love improving lyrics and writing songs on the spot and then not
Yeah.
remembering them.
Well, we recorded
Yeah.
it, so the whole thing was recorded. So we ended up like having it after. It was cute.
Man, there was one time that I played a show in Dothan, Alabama, and it was at a storage unit. And they asked me like last minute to come and play. And the thing is you could only do originals. And I was like, I don't know any of my originals. I don't rehearse them, you know? So like
What?
At
that time
That's what I think too. Yeah.
yeah, I just like
What?
I had a bunch of songs at that time, and I had a band, but none of them could make it. So I drove down there, played. I don't even remember who it was, but I opened for them, and they were like, "Just don't do any don't do any covers because, we're like." It was a punk rock venue in a storage unit, and legit, people were there, and they had,
So you could just make motherfucker.
That's what I did. I was like, yo, I don't have anything to give to y'all, so I'm just going to make shit up. And they were like, fuck yeah. And so I literally just got up there and I was just like, all right, let's party. Let's do a little dance. I don't even remember what I said. I think I did like one song that was like making fun of the Misfits because like this is like a punk venue. So like everybody, loved Misfits in there. And I was like, there's a Misfits song. So do you either one of y'all listen to Misfits?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so there's one song called Last Caress, and it is just as abhorrent as the title. And it's like, I got something to say. I raped your baby today. Doesn't matter much to me as long as it's dead or something like that.
I hate that.
Yeah, well, at the time, you
Yeah.
have to think about, like, this is the 70s, and it was like, there was a huge, censorship was way worse back then than it was today.
I think it's worse now, but it's from the other side.
No. Dude, you want to compare 70s censorship to today's censorship?
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. There's a different type of censorship. You can't say, like, anything remotely racist now.
Which is a good thing.
Probably shouldn't, yeah. But what I'm saying
You
is
could
like,
have back then, though.
yeah, but I'm saying you
So
could.
Which you shouldn't have.
You should have, but I'm saying I feel like now there's more censorship than there was then. More people are trying to censor you.
Dude,
now.
I think.
But I don't think it's more people trying to censor you. I think it's more people adjusting themselves and their perspectives, and they don't want to listen to you if you are going to say things like that.
Yeah, but also we're gonna get into this stupidest.
No,
argument.
what
I
I'm
don't
gonna-
wanna-
Maybe we should move on
Yeah.
to something else.
What I'm trying
No,
to
we
say
just,
is
we
like,
end up talking about this every podcast. That's why I
yeah,
don't wanna do this.
we always
Yeah.
give it.
We
We
always
that's
end up in this exact spot. So.
yeah, like everybody's got a political opinion, huh?
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. Well, long story
Yeah, but
short.
only mine are correct.
Yeah. Oh, that's
We
right.
spoke about
That's
that.
right.
Yeah. That's why we wanted you
That's
on.
why we. Yeah.
I didn't want to be on that one. I'm not talking about my political. No one's allowed to know what I believe.
Okay, that's fair.
As you were saying.
No, I was saying like it was a punk rock venue, made up a bunch of songs, had a lot of fun. Is what it is, and the big brain tough guy. It was essentially that kind of stuff.
I love that album. Yeah.
I did a album literally a few weeks ago. I just made fun of like conspiracy theorists, and I just like pretended I was a conspiracy theorist, got in front of a mic, had my guitar, and I just made up shit on the spot. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it was made very quickly, but it sounds like it was fun.
Dude, it took me probably a total of like 3 hours to do 8 songs, and they're all ridiculous. They're not like worth buying or listening to even.
But the project was to make like a little tiny project thing,
Yeah,
which was cool.
It was the product of I couldn't get my vocals right on this one song, so I'm gonna make 8 really terrible songs, and that's how that happened. But yeah,
dude, we got to talk about something right now. We got to talk. I feel like you're not confident enough in your material. Whenever we're playing, you're always like, I'm like, yo, let's play one of yours, and you're like, no one wants to hear my shit, dude. That's so not true.
I don't. Well, a lot of times, like I said, it's like I don't know how to play it. Like I don't remember the
because I feel like you think no one wants to hear it.
Yeah, but like I just don't. I don't rehearse them. Like I just don't prepare.
She's on the opposite end of the spectrum because we were talking before the open mic. You were like,
I can play you songs
you're
that
like,
I hate before I play you songs that I love. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Because I had to get over it. Because I moved to Nashville, I transferred colleges so that I could come to Nashville, so that I could pursue music. Mm-hmm. And it took me like a year to get on a stage. And I just genuinely believed that nobody wanted to hear me and that nobody wanted to listen to what I had to say. So I wouldn't even play at my own dorm's open mic nights that they ran once a month. And people in my dorm would be like, you should sign up. And I would always be like, nobody wants to hear me. And it took me forever to get over that. And now I full on believe that everybody wants to hear me. Everybody wants to hear what I have to say. They just don't know it yet. And so I just have to get up on that stage and I just have to convince them that they love my music. And I'm correct.
You know, Mike and I talk about something. And if you're going to be something, you have to make evidence. And that's just it. If you keep getting on stage and you keep singing your songs, and same for me, same for Micah, like we get up there and we keep performing our own material, guess what? You're making evidence that you're an artist.
Yeah, like,
and you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're a performer, however you want to look at it. You're making evidence. So like, yeah, that's a good way to think about it. You know, just like this is who I am. This is what you want to hear. Maybe. I mean, I'm just saying, like,
if you like me,
if you
you'll
think
like
about
this.
it like that,
if you don't like me, you won't like this.
Yeah, if you think about it the way you're thinking, it'll go over well, I think, in due time. Like, if you just keep persisting. I mean, that's like the number one way to get successful is persist.
So here's the thing. I think a lot of people get in their heads and they think, oh, everybody's thinking about me. Like, not just people don't want to hear me. People actively do not want to hear me, I think is what's happening in a lot of people's brains. When it's like, no, they don't want to hear you because they don't even know that they should want to hear you. And that's where they're at. They're in a ground of neutrality because nobody is thinking about you. Yeah. Like, you are not on people's minds the way you think you are because you are always going to be the center of your own universe. And so you are revolving around yourself and everybody else is revolving around themselves because they are all living in their own universes. They're all the center of their own universe. So you just have to get past that and be like, okay, nobody is thinking about me. So I have to make them think about me and I have to grab their attention and be like, hey, look at me. I'm an eclipse and you want to pay attention to me because I'm glorious.
Speaking in very poetic terms. But also, I like it. But also, like, any time someone bombs, you don't really remember them the same way as someone who was, like, amazing. Like the chick who choked and spiraled, as you said. I couldn't point her out on the street if I saw her. You know, I don't know if Magic Dude.
I couldn't. I feel like maybe
you'd be like, wait a minute, that's the Magic guy.
Yeah, maybe. But he also
makes some magic.
I mean, if he'd wore like a hat, maybe or something. I don't know, like a big cowboy hat, maybe then. But
I feel like also, like, we're not thinking of the person who choked as like she sucks. Like, at no point is it like she's a terrible musician, she sucks, she can't write a song, she can't perform a song, she can't sing, like, she just is totally worthless. Like, that's not what's happening in our brains the same way it might have been happening in her brain. In our brains, it's like, oh, that sucks. I've been there. I know exactly what that feels like. I'm so sorry that you are in this position right now. I hope that you get out of this position, that you make yourself feel better, and that you get back up and that you do better next time. And I full on don't know what your face looked like, and I don't remember what your voice sounded like. All I remember is that I hope that things go better for you next time because I know exactly what it feels like to be standing where you're at.
Yeah, that's you, but there's definitely people at the bar who don't do songwriters.
I think,
round.
yeah, I was about to say
Well,
that.
those people don't matter and are completely irrelevant. I don't want to associate with people who lack in empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't care
Although
what
I
they
kind of
think.
like
I
it.
I get encouraged by like people hating, which is like,
Same.
you know, kind of like
Toxic masculinity, yo.
I'm the opposite.
yeah.
I am encouraged to do better and to try harder when people adore me.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's not to be pushed. Of course, like that's, you know, love is a lot more powerful than hate, honestly, in every facet. But like I'm just saying, when I see like on Reddit, if I post something and everybody, people are like, yeah, cool, yeah, this is good, and one guy's like, yeah, dude, you should rewrite songs and give up singing. I'm actually like, yes, like somebody dislikes it, so it's like it's not like a echo chamber. Like
Yes.
that's it's.
Well, I want to live inside of an echo chamber.
Oh, you.
Yeah, I do. I want to only
Yeah.
hear validation.
Well, you're
Yeah.
on one right now.
because
I was
that's
gonna say,
what I
probably.
need. No, like everybody is different,
You're
right? Like some people, like they want
doing a great job, by the way.
criticism. I
Yeah.
appreciate critique. Like I appreciate like helpful criticism, but
Yeah.
people just being mean to me.
It just doesn't
Nuh-uh.
sit well.
I'm not about that. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't work for me. I will cry
Yeah.
and lock myself into a room.
I understand.
But like, if I have a bad night on stage, it makes me want to go out more and perform.
Yeah, like I gotta make up for that.
Yeah, I gotta. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a bad night, so I gotta have a good
Yeah.
one now.
That's not to say that
I want to
like
do a face mask and watch a show and forget that I'm a person.
Yeah,
that's, you know what, it's not
that's what goes
every,
to my
it's
head.
not
but-
like that every, yeah, that's not like that every time, because like if I do see, you know, somebody say some terrible shit, I'm like, you know, this does suck, and I do think about it, but I do like try to manipulate it in my own imagination to be like, you know, this is actually a good thing, because it's like this means that people have, you know, a real opinion, and if you just had millions of people telling you something that like it's all great, it's all perfect, I just think that it just, I mean,
You won't
But-
grow.
I don't know.
But is
It
that
just-
their real
it just-
opinion? Like, is the person hating you on the internet, like, is that their real opinion? Or did they
True.
find someone who performed something online that they didn't immediately recognize and then write something mean?
Yeah.
But if someone's comfortable shitting on it, that already, like, once you get hate,
It's-
that means you've hit someone in some way.
That's how I'm thinking of it. It's like
Pacifist.
I think of it as like it's just, it's a yin and yang, you know. I have something, and when you see all the yin and no yang, it's almost like, man, something's going on, you know. Like
You're
it
doing
just
a great job.
huh?
No, but there's like certain artists, like you look at like Leon Bridges, you know him?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like who would hate on that?
Who would yang on that yin?
Yeah, who's like fuck this guy's voice, quit? Like
Yeah.
I want to. There's certain people that like they
Anybody
just
who
are
says that
100%.
Beyonce can't sing is just wrong.
Yeah.
That's
know?
another good
Yeah.
example.
Like, sometimes
yeah.
people are just wrong.
But there definitely are haters, and it's like, you know, haters are my motivators. Like that, I think that's like something that I feel is like important to me, or like when I hear somebody say something negative, it encourages me a little bit, but I have to make it that way. But of course, what makes it better? Encouragement, and you know, people complimenting and recognize Beyonce is the greatest, you know, performer of our generation, and you know that will probably make her feel a lot better than Beyonce sucks. You know, like just duh, of course. But there's something to be said about like negativity actually, you know, it may be humbling, but like in a sense of like it's humbling because, you know, it brings you down, but it also like it makes you work harder. It makes the discipline.
Has anyone
like-
ever openly, like to your face, hated on something you have done and like said like, yeah, I just don't like that. Like, okay, better example. I would prefer, and I feel like you're going to be on the opposite end, but I would prefer if I showed you a song, you go, yeah, I don't like what you did here. Like, I would change that shit, as opposed to being like, oh no, this is good.
Okay,
Yeah.
but do you hear what you just said? You said I would change this. You didn't say this is terrible and
Yeah.
then walk away.
Okay, but the Jack
I think
White.
that there's a
Constructive
difference
criticism,
between
yeah.
helpful criticism or like expressing an opinion versus just hating something.
True, but
Like, do you hate Taylor Swift or do you just generally dislike her style of singing?
okay, but a good example would be like Jack White talks about when he wrote Seven Nation Army. You know Seven Nation Army, right? Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, yeah.
So when he wrote that the first time, he played the riff for his friend on guitar, and he was like, "What do you think of this riff?" And his friend's like, "Eh." And it's like, because kind of going back to this writer's round thing, like if there's no context for it yet, you have to hear it in your head, the whole thing before. And sometimes like sometimes like you kind of almost, I don't know where I'm going with that. I lost my train of thought.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say like because of the negative reaction he got from his friend, it like didn't discourage him to like still
Because
persist
he still
to put
knew
it out.
that it was a song. He's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is a good song." Like
This
yeah.
this is like, you know, I don't really listen to this guy like all the time, but he talks about like failure and like when something is, you know, not gone your way, it's good because you still have opportunity to make better on that, to do better. And it's
But
really
failure isn't people hating on you. You know?
Yeah, that's true. But
Like, there are so many different ways that you can fail and they don't. Like, it's not just people hating on you. Like, I think this one quote that I really like is, it's not a closed door is just a redirection, I think is what it is. Like, you're just being redirected to a different door that has the passage that you actually needed to take.
For sure, I hear that.
You know?
I get that too.
Like, not everybody shutting a door in your face means that you need to somehow work harder to get the key to that door. Like, sometimes you're just supposed to go through a different door.
Yeah. I mean, the way I was thinking about it is like the failure to appeal to this, you know, person, whoever, you know, shitted on me or whatever, or shitted on anybody for any matter. The failure to appeal to them is like shouldn't be what brings you down. Like it should be that you are encouraged that like you can do better on this. Like because they didn't like it, you can think of it as like, oh well, then fuck you, never dealing with you again. Which isn't really necessarily bad. I mean, there was plenty of other people, but I think of it as like, you know what, just whoever this person is, you know, I still have opportunity to keep persisting just because of your nasty comment. Like I feel like there's, you know, strength that you can pull from that. And that's kind of what I was getting to. Is like the negativity can, just me in particular, it can encourage me in a sense.
I hear
And,
that.
yeah.
I almost
But
like,
I don't want to say that works for everybody. It works for me.
I am evidence that does not work
Yeah.
for everybody.
well, I have the opposite
Exactly. That's what I
of
was-
you, where it's like sometimes my goal is, sometimes, not always, sometimes the goal is to piss someone off. Like I know with vulgarity, like when my mom said, "I don't like this song," I was like, I did a good job.
Yeah.
You know, like
Well, with the big brain tough guy stuff, like I was like, you know, I shared
That's a
it.
great example,
Yeah, I shared
yeah.
this to a bunch of my friends, and they were like, "Yo, why are you sharing this to me?"
see, that's what I
And
meant by that.
it's
That's
like-
honest, right there. So you know when something's good, they're gonna tell you it's good.
I've had some. Well, there's two comments. There was one guy. I have a friend named Dave, and I sent it to him. And it's like I called the album "IQ Booster Upper," which is you know
Says enough, right there.
inevitably the greatest title of all time. But I sent it to him, and I was like, "So is your IQ boosted yet?" And he was like, "I feel if I could listen to 30 more seconds of this, I'm going to die of brain damage." And I was like, "Okay, fair." But
Because his IQ got too high.
that's actually what I said. I was like, "You must be in the fifth dimension of intellect." But that's a
Or you're too smart to exist on this plane.
exactly. I was like, dang it, I forgot. You're not even human. That's it. No, but a bunch of other people were like, "This is the greatest album of all time," which of course it's not. But it's like it's. I mean, it's all just a
some of the
joke.
drum beats are off on some.
Yeah. Oh, it's
yeah.
purposely
Yeah.
off. Like I did like a keyboard drum.
I haven't heard any of your music ever. No.
Oh,
He has actually.
I genuinely haven't heard any of your music.
I want to show you Big Brain Taco first.
Yeah, we should
No,
start.
I'm not going to show you that. I'll show you the other stuff, and then you can see
Well, we
Big Brain
should
Taco.
start rapping. We're reaching that.
Oh, you
time.
want me to start rapping? So, once a time I was in Alabama. I went to the jail. They called it a slammer. I got the guitar. I played a little tune. And then I went to the cafeteria, ate some food. Come on. If you like it, put your hands up. And if you don't, then just be complacent. And if you want to rhyme with me, go ahead and get crazy on this funky
Marianne,
beat.
do the chorus.
Goes like, and it goes like, yeah, here comes the second verse. I'm from the next universe. And I said verse with verse, and I haven't even cursed yet. Oh shit, there I went.
We're definitely
and then
gonna
I'm
fade
going
this
on
out.
top. And then I spit, the flame, the fire comes out of my desire. And if you don't like that, you can wild like a wheel on a tire. Oh, it's dead? Oh, whatever.